A few winters ago, on a cold February afternoon, I was walking along the banks of the Detroit River. I looked into the water and noticed that it was clear. Very clear. So clear that I could see right to the bottom. And boy, was there a lot of stuff in there. A shopping cart, glass bottles, tires, a fishing bucket, a giant star, most likely a piece of the sculpture garden that got tossed in there. I was mesmerized as I walked from the Karen Avenue pumping station down to the Ambassador Bridge, not really paying attention, just snapping photos of all the interesting things on the river bottom. More stars, all kinds of stuff. Another cart. And then I saw this. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Frankly, I had no idea what it was. It wasn't until I posted the photos online afterwards that a friend commented asking if it was the missing Sculpture Garden penguin. One of the penguins had gone missing years before. It made sense to me that an inebriated person may have tossed it into the river one night. After all, everything else had been tossed in there over the years. That one Facebook comment by a friend sparked a huge conversation. Could it be the penguin? The problem I had was that I had been in such a photo frenzy the day before that I couldn't pinpoint exactly where I had seen that one item. What's worse is that the Detroit River, when clear, doesn't stay clear for very long. I was skeptical but thought it would be amazing if it was in fact the penguin. So I went back to the river the next day to see if I could see it. Sadly, the river was nowhere near as clear on day 2. But my disappointment quickly went away when I saw this. A local scuba diver named Matt Zudima had seen the Facebook chatter and decided he was going to go down and have a look for himself. Turns out that Matt had been looking for the penguin for years. After diving the river for an hour or so, Matt found some really interesting things, including this water bong. I laughed as I tried to think of the circumstances that led to the bong being tossed into the Detroit River. You remember those stars? Matt managed to lift one of them out of the river and he gave it to me as a souvenir, and I still have it in my garden. But he never did find the missing penguin. Or more accurately, he found what I had taken the photo of, and it was just a bent hubcap. Very disappointing. So the penguin could still be out there in the river somewhere, or maybe not. Another sculpture garden piece that was there one day and gone the next is this beautiful statue. The statue is called Anne by the late sculptor and artist Leo Moll. I took this footage in 2007 and I always loved the statue. That's why I was shocked one day, years later, when I walked by and the statue was gone. It had simply vanished. I also noticed that the pedestal that held the statue was leaning pretty severely to one side. Had the statue fallen off the pedestal into the water? If so, I hope it was recovered and put in a safe location. Finally, one of my all-time favorite sculpture garden pieces, the UFO. How could you not like this one? I took video as well as several photos of it over the years. And then one day I happened to be walking by as it was being removed from its pedestal. Why? I asked. Well, it turns out that the UFO wasn't made out of space-age alien precious metals. It was in fact made out of plywood, and it was simply falling apart. Here's a Windsor trivia question for you. Where was this other famous Windsor UFO located? Bonus question. Where was it originally located? Okay, if you know the answer to that one, I'll give you a special prize. This water bong! Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more historical Windsor content. Michael Evans, Windsor, Ontario. And here's a question. What items have you seen on the bottom of the Detroit River? Or what items have you pulled out of the Detroit River? Let me know in the comment section.